I'm sure there's other people. Yeah, and I'm sure there's other people out there. I'm sure there's other people that have the same problem. And the guy just hung up on me. Alright, so long story short, I went to Vancouver for one of my friend's weddings, and everywhere there was pay parking, which is no problem. But then afterwards, we decided to go to this restaurant called Four Seasons Restaurant, which is near basically that Boldell Conservation Center in Vancouver. A restaurant has no parking at all for any of their customers. The only parking they have is valet, or you parked and it was pay parking 2 hours. So you can only park for 2 hours at a time, and it was about $7. And that's all good. But when you go to this restaurant, the prices are really, really extreme, mind you. So you're paying like $50 for like an ounce steak, 2 broccolis, a tomato, and some fries. And that's all you get. You're literally sometimes paying $15 to $20 for a cup of coffee, so it's really, really expensive. There was about 7 of us, and the bill probably racked up to like at least $800. I didn't look, but I tried to calculate it. At least like an $800 bill, and I didn't even order anything because I felt so bad because everyone else was paying for me. So I was just like, no, it's okay. I'll just eat the free bread and have some water and watch you guys all enjoy, because I'll just go get some pizza afterwards. But long story short, it's a long story, no longer short. I went back to my vehicle to find that there was a violation ticket, a pay parking ticket, basically explaining that it is because of the expired time. Well, I have a ticket here that I paid for. It was good until 5:32. Well, unfortunately, while you're sitting in a restaurant paying good money, you reserved your seats. You're not going to want to just get up and leave halfway through you're eating your meal, or while you're eating your meal. I figured they would at least give you some lenience time of, a little bit of just going, because there's a restaurant right there, and you figure they would say, oh, okay, people are probably eating their dinner or whatnot. Forgot to mention that if you go to this restaurant, a reservation at 4, we didn't get seated till about 5, and then it took over an hour to get our food, and then another half hour just for our desserts and stuff. So it took a long time, a lot longer than we expected. And for Vancouver and Easy Park, basically be so gung-ho, basically give anyone a ticket is just ridiculous. And I'm going to be basically giving them a call and seeing if they could be nice and lenient and basically wipe the ticket clean. And if not, well then I guess you guys are going to hear it firsthand because I'm going to record it. Oh, and by the way, super frustration, you get this ticket and they don't have any phone number at all. All they have is make a payment to www.easypark or pay at this address location, which is probably where they're located. Major frustration, so you gotta look it up and then call them.
Please note that your call may be recorded for quality assurance and training purposes.
So it sounds like in order to appeal this, I have to go online, send it through their email or whatnot, and it takes up to 10 business days. Well, your violation amount is for $40. Within, I think, 7 days, it goes up to 75, and then within another 7, it goes up to 100, as you guys can see there. So practically appealing it and waiting, if you don't get approved, then you're going to be stuck paying more. So it's either you pay the little sum or you try to fight it and get stuck paying more in the long run. Or you might get lucky and not have to pay anything. We'll find out. It's funny how they say all phone calls are recorded for training purposes. It's not for training purposes. Well, some of it probably is, but most of it, I bet you, is just to cover their own tails. Basically, I was parked at Queen Elizabeth Park. I was at the Seasons restaurant there. And I was in the middle of eating and then came out to find out that there was a ticket on my vehicle.
Okay, let's start with the violation number and just start with it. So our records indicate that the parking expired at 5:32, while the violation was issued at 6:02, so it was expired by a half hour.
Yeah, it's the problem is when you're in a restaurant and you're sitting down eating, and it's an expensive restaurant.
Yeah, for that reason we do recommend that people get maybe like the Pay by Phone app or the Easy Work app, so you can extend your parking remotely. As it stands, though, because the parking was expired by that large of a measure, I wouldn't be able to cancel the violation.
Really, not at all? Even the fact that I was at the restaurant right there.
No, unfortunately, that's not like the fact you're in the restaurant isn't really relevant to your parking time being expired. Every customer is responsible for keeping their own, time up to date kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you're in a restaurant and you pay for 2 hours parking, and then you're sitting there and you're in the middle of eating, and the restaurant's not cheap either, and you're there for a wedding celebration, and it's just kind of rude just to get up in the middle of eating with everyone to go pay for parking, and you figured that I'm already paying for 2 hours, spending like $800 at a restaurant, that there would be some lenience, and to have no lenience at all is just a big slap in the face. And
well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but the parking time is expired, so it is considered a valid violation regardless of where you were eating or what you were doing. It is everyone's responsibility to make sure their parking time is up to date.
yeah, but it's funny that it's our responsibility to have up to date, but if somebody assaults me or somebody breaks into my vehicle, I'm held responsible. You guys don't protect or do anything.
Well, we actually do have patrols.
No, it says right here on the ticket that you guys aren't liable of injury to person, property, or parking facility, or entering or exiting therefore. So anything that happens is our fault, but
Oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
well, what happens if I don't pay this?
It'll escalate in price and eventually it'll go to a third-party collections agency.
So basically nothing then?
No, nothing. I mean, it does go to a collections agency.
Yeah, which can't get blood from a stone.
I'm not forcing you to pay it. I mean, if you want to let it go to collections, it's entirely your choice.
Well, I'm gonna let it go to collections because this is ridiculous, and I'm gonna be making a YouTube video about this, as well as the restaurant that I went to. You're there for a celebration and you're spending like over $800, and you come outside to find a ticket, not even, I think you said 30 minutes. 30 minutes goes by really quick, and that's like the time it takes to walk from the restaurant to the car.
Right, but you were aware of when your parking was going to expire. So, I don't appreciate being threatened with YouTube or the restaurant or anything.
It's not a threat, it's a promise. I'm already recording this, and I will be posting a video about it all because I have my rights to do so. I have the rights to inform everyone that if they park there, that you guys aren't going to be lenient, and that if you guys do use that restaurant, that you guys are going to basically have the chances of getting screwed over.
Right, well,
Exactly.
If you feel that way, but the parking time was expired, it is a valid violation. If you choose not to pay it, that's entirely your choice. As I said, it'll just move to a third-party collections agency.
Yeah, and good luck trying to collect from me then.
It's really not me trying to collect, it's the third-party company. But anyhow, that's entirely your choice. Is there anything else?
So basically, if you park anywhere in Vancouver, and no matter if you're outside of a restaurant or not, no matter where you are or whatever you're doing, Vancouver doesn't give no lenience on your parking, won't waive the parking fees. If you go down to Vancouver, bring a big bag of change and get ready to basically get, stuck with tickets and stuff like that, because change machine says you can only pay for 2 hours. In any sense, you should have unlimited hours. But anyways, you guys heard it firsthand. You don't have to pay. They'll send a collections agency. Good luck getting blood from a stone. Not gonna happen. And basically, you get a ticket from Easy Park or anything that isn't basically city related and it's a collections agency, don't pay it. But if it has to do with your license and insurance and it affects that, then pay it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not paying this. I'm never going back to Vancouver, because what happens if you don't pay it and you go back there is what will happen is they'll just look at your plate and then they'll get your vehicle towed. I find this a big scam. I find it to be illegal. Private corporations or businesses shouldn't be able to do this. It's like me putting toll parking outside my business, and if somebody goes there and doesn't pay, I can get them towed, I can give them a ticket, and who gets the money? I do. Alright, so I figure I'm going to give Seasons in the Park a call just to see what they have to say about the parking violation.
Good morning, Seasons in the Park restaurant. Can I see waiting a moment, please?
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks so much for waiting. How can I help you?
Hi there. Was there the other day for a wedding celebration?
Okay, something you can do is call Easy Park.
Yeah, I already called them.
Yeah, so unfortunately we don't have anything to do with the city parking unless you parked in the valet.
And how much was the valet?
Valet is, what time, sorry, you were in the evening? It's 10:25. It's flat rate for the entire evening.
For $10. Yeah, see, there was no signs saying flat rate or anything, and then when I went up, the guy was the valet guy was rude, so I didn't even bother. I didn't even want him driving my vehicle.
My manager. Give me 1 moment.
Like, you see the valet guy driving other people's vehicles, flooring it, and I'm not gonna have some guy peel out my vehicle. I don't even peel out my vehicle. Why would I have somebody else do it? I'm surprised they don't have parking. Hi. Hello? 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 Okay then.
Good morning, Seasons in the Park. Larry speaking.
Hi Larry. Sorry, must have been a phone disconnection there. How's it?
What can I do for you, sir?
Basically, I don't know if the other lady explained what happened or the situation.
Tell me.
Basically, we went there for a wedding celebration to pay parking on the street.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I drove around to look for parking for the restaurant, and there was no parking. There was only valet, and that was completely packed, and the valet guy, there was no sign saying how much. The guy had a knife in his hand cutting an apple or something, and the way he looked and the way he was driving other vehicles, I didn't feel comfortable enough leaving him my vehicle or even approaching the guy. So that's where I decided, you know what, the only parking I see is on the street and it's pay. So I ended up paying it, and we had reservations at 4 o'clock. We didn't get seated till about 5. And I called Easy Park, and they're not giving any lenience or whatever at all. They just...
Yeah, you talked to them already?
Yeah, they just obviously want to make the money, right? So... And that's where I just figured I'd call you guys just to see what you guys had to say about it or whatnot, because, you know, you go to a restaurant and you pay like $800 for a wedding celebration, and then you come out and you get another ticket on your vehicle. It's disheartening. It doesn't put a good taste in your mouth, not only for the area, but for your guys' restaurant.
Yeah, it's true. I wish we could control the parking. It's the city of Vancouver. We'd love to. The best we can do is offer this valet service out front here, so which helps a little bit. But yeah, maybe they're a bit gung-ho, those guys. I know if I don't put my pass up, they give me a ticket every time too. It's frustrating. So, yeah, my apologies. I know everyone hates to get a ticket. I agree.
Yeah, especially when you're celebrating.
You actually talked to a human at Easy Park, or did you?
I had to call. I had actually called today.
Yeah, and you got through to them.
Yeah, I got through to them, and he basically just said, you know what, it is what it is. You know, you had your certain time. You know, if you don't go out to pay it, so be it. You know, you're basically stuck paying it. They don't care at all. It's literally like, you know, if you're doing, we don't care what you're doing. You know, you have a certain amount of time. If you don't pay it or you're a certain amount late, so be it. You're stuck paying the ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you guys don't have, like, you guys only have the valet. You guys don't have any.
We do. He's right out front.
Yeah, but you guys don't have any customer actual.
Valet service. We have the lot right in front.
But you don't have other parking besides the valet.
The lot in front of the restaurant here is allocated to the valet.
Yeah, and when we showed up, it was completely packed and busy. So I don't even know if there was any room for valet if we wanted there.
They always make room.
Yeah.
Problem. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should put up a sign.
The pay parking as well, usually. So especially if you're going to stay for a few hours.
Well, you guys should put up a sign saying you should put up a sign saying that the parking's only $10, because if I knew that the valet was only $10, I probably would have paid that rather than taking my chances on the street. You see valet, you think it's going to be pricey. There's no price listed anywhere.
It's on a sign right out front, sir. It is.
I videotaped the area. I didn't see no sign with the $10 when I pulled up.
Fair enough, I know.
So.
Yeah, I wish I had some pull with the city. I know that, you know, the city of Vancouver.
Well, I think you guys should have a sit down or talk with the city of Vancouver about it, because it's going to affect your business. Because like this is my first time coming there, the only time I've come there, and it was because of a friend's birthday celebration, and I'm the one that gets stuck with the ticket and everything. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm never coming back there, and I'm not going to recommend anyone to come back there. And I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I think the general manager might want to have a word with you as well. Just might maybe be able to make another view. Can I have him call you?
Yeah, you can call me back if you want. And this is one of those things, it's not really, you know, you should not even really care, but it's just kind of, you know, it is. I'm sure there's 100 other people out there that have had the same situation as me, where they've parked there, came back after eating dinner, a great time, to find out, you know what, bam, I got a ticket, and it just ruins your whole night, and it just puts a bad taste in your mouth. And I'm probably not the only person. You guys can either agree or disagree, but we're going to wait to talk to the general manager and see what he has to say and go from there. On the 26th.
And I guess I didn't catch the whole thing. Like, did our valet park your car and not put a ticket in it? Is that what happened? Or?
No, what happened was, I went to the valet, but there was no, like, signs or anything explaining on how much it was or anything. And when I pulled up, the valet parking was full, and the valet guy was sitting off to the side with a knife cutting an apple or something. And
Well, we're never full. We park sometimes 100 cars. It's not.
okay, well, when I pulled up, he was just sitting there with a knife cutting an apple or something like that, and there was like no sign saying exactly how much it was. So I just backed up, and then I saw on the street that there was parking, so I parked there, but it was like pay parking. So I paid for the 2 hours. We had I believe it was a reservation at 4 o'clock,
Right.
and it took quite a while to get seated. I think it was like 45 minutes to get seated. So when we had reservations at 4, and then it took 45 minutes to get seated, and then obviously like an hour for food, and then you're sitting and eating, and by the time that happened, my 2 hours was up on the parking. And I didn't want to like leave the restaurant middle of eating to go put more money in. I figured, they'd be a little bit lenient, considering that they figured that there's a restaurant right there. So we finished our meal and then went outside, and then obviously saw that there was a ticket, and yeah, it was kind of disheartening,
Number one, I guess I lost me a little. Sorry. Yeah, if you paid for 2 hours parking, that's all the parking would be. It's like any parking at anywhere. Yeah, we don't. The city controls the parking. We certainly don't. That's why we provide a valet service. So, yeah, we wouldn't have any control over that. Yeah, I mean.
I guess what I was getting to with the manager Larry that I was talking to is that I've never been up in that area. I've never been to your restaurant. I was invited for a friend's birthday, a wedding celebration. I didn't even want to go there, but I was invited, so I drove everyone there. We sat down. They offered to pay for me, but seeing how pricey everything was there, I didn't feel comfortable for them to pay. So I just sat there and ate some bread and drank some water while everybody else ate. And I'm pretty sure the bill came out to like $800 or something crazy, because it was very expensive. And then
I can check all this out. I know when I left the building at 3:30, that table it was a group of 8 or 10, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah, the table was ready, so I don't know why you didn't. I'm going to have to talk to the manager on duty to see why you weren't seated, because the table was ready.
Yeah, no.
It was ready when I left the building at 3:30. So.
Well, that's kind of weird, because considering that we were there at 4 and we still had to sit and wait for them to get the table ready.
Yeah.
So, but what I was getting at is that, I've never been there. Your guys' prices are a little, for my taste, So I just sat there, enjoyed the company of everyone and everything else. And then when we went to leave, go to the vehicle and then see a parking ticket. So like what I was saying.
We can't control that. That's the city. So
I know. I understand that.
You have to deal with the city on that.
I understand that, but
Help you there.
what I was explaining to Larry was, as my first time being there, the only time I've gone there for a wedding celebration, and for this is how everything went, it puts a really bad taste not only in my mouth, but everybody else's mouth that was with us. And like I told Larry, there's no reason for me to want to come back there, or specifically go there, or recommend it to go to anybody else to go there. So that's where I'm at with that. And that's.
Yeah, I can't. I just don't have control over the in-park. They're such maniacal people that the pay parking is in effect 24 hours a day. It's absolutely ridiculous, and none of our staff gets free parking either. So that's something I can't control at all. But I would like to find out why you weren't seated immediately. So what am help you with your parking ticket, but I will get to the bottom of why you weren't seated exactly at 4.
Yeah, because that, if we were seated at 4, we would have been out, and I would have probably never had a ticket. The delay for the seating and everything else, you guys weren't busy at the time.
If you had informed us that your parking was running out at 6, we could have helped you with that and helped you go, hey, we can go out there and plug your meter, we can do whatever we can, but we certainly can't monitor our customers and how they pay for parking.
Yeah.
That's not possible. So I'll get back to you on the seating though, and because I would like to be a reasonable explanation of why. Because as I say, the table was ready when I left the building at 3:30. So what I'll do is I'll talk to Larry and I'll call you back on the reason there was some delay.
Yeah, regardless if there's a delay or not, it sounds like even if he says there's a delay because of this or whatever, it just doesn't change the fact that I got a ticket and I gotta pay it. And it's and what I'm getting at is that it's affecting your guys' business, regardless.
I'm sorry to hear that was showing you're against us. It's just not we can't take responsibility for people's tickets in the park. It just doesn't happen.
No, but what you can do is at least post a sign by your valet parking saying $10. That would have made a huge difference to me when I pulled up. There is no sign.
There is a sign out there.
I took a picture of the sign. There is no price stated, so that's where I was at, and that's the only reason why I paid for parking.
We have valet parking available for our clientele. So,
well, where's the sign?
It's an independent company that valet parks cars, and so I can't give you any more reason than that. But we have a guy in the valet shack out there. We hire a company, and they're out there valet parking cars. As I say, I don't know how many cars he parks on Sunday, but certainly well in excess of 120 cars.
You guys, where is he parking it? Right in that tiny parking spot outside?
Oh, no. He uses the upper parking lot. He uses goes down the hill. Depends what's busy and what's not. He parks them all over.
And where's the pricing marked exactly?
Well, he can tell you that. Right?
No, you said there was a sign.
He's got a sign that says valet parking.
Well, where's this?
I'm gonna call Larry and find out what the delay in the city is. But I apologize. I can't help you with the ticket. I'm sorry.
Oh, where's the sign stating the price on the valet parking?
Well, Chad, I can't.
There is no sign.
He can verbalize it. There's a valet parking.
That's.
We've been in business 30 years with a valet service, so it's very successful. And I apologize that you got a ticket, but there's nothing else I can do with it. Chad, I will call you back when I get to the bottom of it with Larry.
Don't even bother calling me back. Basically, I'm just going to state that I've been recording everything. I'm going to be giving you guys a review. I'll be posting a YouTube video about this.
Yeah.
And everybody else can basically decide for themselves.
Okay.
So, I know you guys have your restaurant. I know you guys have your valet parking. And I know you guys aren't responsible for the parking outside. And that's paid parking. I understand that. I respect that. But I was talking to you about something that you basically went off on. Like I said, it's something so minor. You said that there was a sign out there with pricing, and then 2 seconds later you say no, there isn't. You have to ask the valet. So that's a contradiction right there. And if there was a sign outside, saying $10 parking, I would have went with valet. So maybe you guys should put out a sign saying $10 valet parking, and you guys wouldn't have this issue ever. I don't know if you guys have had this issue before, but I'm sure there's other people. Yeah, and I'm sure there's other people out there. I'm sure there's other people that have the same problem. And the guy just hung up on me. Talk about rude and disrespectful. And that's the general manager at Seasons in the Park. I know I'm a little hypedy and a little anxious and stuff like that because I got anxiety and stuff like that. But you know what? When somebody's talking, you don't rudely interrupt them. You let them finish. And the guy specifically said there's a sign saying $10 parking. There was no sign saying $10 parking. And then he states, oh wait, no, you have to verbally ask the valet, and verbally the valet will tell you $10. So he lied specifically. And then he says he's going to figure out why there was a delay. They said that the table was ready at 3:30. We didn't get our table and seated till 5. So they just delayed us for no reason. And the place wasn't even busy. And the place is super expensive. And I was there not even eating anything. I was just there sitting and enjoying the company of everybody else. And I get stuck with the bill. This is ridiculous. Don't go to Seasons in the Park. I'm telling you right now, if you have money to burn and not worried about it, then go. But for the average citizen, $50 for a tiny little steak, 2 pieces of broccoli and some fries doesn't cut it for me. I'd rather go and spend $50 on a big feast for me and another friend, or me and a girl or whatever, and enjoy the time, enjoy the hassle, and have free parking and not have to deal with that headache. I just can't believe that's how they would treat you about parking, you know? It's not a big deal. It's just how people deal with it and how they respond, and I'm tired of people lying through their teeth. Oh, there's a sign saying $10 valet. There's no sign saying $10 valet. Wait a minute, yeah, there is no sign. You have to ask the valet. But you basically just lied to me, and then he hangs up on me. Talk about very rude and very disrespectful. I will never go to the Seasons in the Park again. It just totally ruined my Vancouver experience in bad taste, and I recommend nobody else ever going there. You guys can either agree or disagree with me because of this ticket and stuff like that, but you know what, it is what it is, and I'm just gonna end up paying it. Just wanted to see what they had to say about it, and you know, whatever else. Maybe I should start putting pay parking outside my store and start charging people pay parking $3.50 every hour, and if they don't, then I charge them an additional $40 ticket. And where does that go? All back in my pocket. And they say, you know what, that all has to do with the city of Vancouver. All bullshit on that. I bet you they probably get commission or like basically incentives back. No, if the city of Vancouver tickets like 40 people that day, I bet you they get 1% back. It is on their property. He's saying that it's the city's property, but no, the hotel or the restaurant has their property. They own the parking lots, and that's why they have valet, and the rest is all pay, is because they're greedy and they want to make money. They're charging $50 for a basic little meal, and then they're charging you for parking as well. It's ridiculous. Do not go there at all. Do not. Stay away. I'm telling you, stay away. Or if you do decide to go down there, get a taxi, use public transit, or use an Uber. Anytime I've gone to Vancouver and I've driven, I've always gotten a ticket. I've been towed. You know, there's a sign saying you're allowed to park, then there's a sign saying taxi zone, and there's a sign saying you're not, and then you are. This is complete gong show. The whole parking system down there, anywhere with pay parking, anywhere that you can get a ticket, it's just one big money grabbing scam, and that's all it has to come down to, because you should have the freedom to park and go wherever you want without having, you know, the fear of being ticketed or losing your vehicle or license or anything like that. It's almost like blackmail, and I find it completely half-assed backwards. This whole system's half-assed backwards. Everything in the system is whole messed up. But anyways, I'm gonna get going. Peace out, everyone.